just want you to come in.
So I have a few different thermals here. I wanted to kind of show for anybody that's getting into thermal hunting or anything like that, the different price ranges, your different distances and quality differences, stuff like that. I have an ATN Thor 4, 1.25 base magnification, and I also have a Super Hogster. BeringOptics Super Hogster. It's a 2.9 base magnification and it goes up to 11.6. And then I have this Iray Rico Mark 1, which is a 4 power base magnification. I forgot what it goes up to. The ATN goes up to a 5 power. So I'm not going to do like a review on these scopes. It's not really what I started out with the ATN Thor 4. It's a very short range scope because it's 1.25 power. So anyways, I got into hog hunting, so that's what made me get this. I didn't have to have a long shot. I could usually stalk up pretty close and it was easier to do that. And then I got into the coyote hunting because I started to get where the hogs were starting to get a little bit more terrified of me, I guess. And I didn't have as much places to hunt as I did coyote hunting. So anyways, if the hogs weren't moving, I'd be able to coyote hunt. And I ended up buying the BeringOptics here. Really like that scope. It's the scope that I've used in the past year. I've used the whole time, and I really like that scope. It's a good all-around scope. You can make shots out to, if you're a really good shot. I'm not a good shot, so if you wanted to, you could probably make a shot out to 400, or I know we've stretched some out with some of the people that I hunt with that use the same exact scopes. They've stretched it out to about 350. You can watch in my past videos on YouTube with this scope. I think I have my first 2 videos were using the ATN, and then the rest of them are using this Super Hogster. Anyways, I just bought this scope and got it sighted in. We ran up on some hogs the day I sighted in, and we got 6 of them. Pretty close range stuff. They were all it was hog hunting, so we got to stalk in on them, and they're ripping up a peanut field, so that worked out good. And so far, I can go ahead and tell you I love this scope. By far, I love this scope. It's my best scope right now. These 2 scopes running together, if you have 2 people, is a perfect combination. But anyways, I'll get into kind of showing you some pros and cons on each one. I don't know all the details on each one of the scopes. Like I said, I don't really do my research very well. So hopefully you do before you go spend thousands of dollars on a scope. But the good thing is all of these scopes, for anybody that's getting into them, you're probably gonna buy a 384 core. 384 core is gonna be a little bit cheaper than if you bought a 640. 640 is supposed to be clearer and give you a lot more quality in the picture. This scope here for 384 core and this scope for 384 core is super clear. There are differences in between the 384s and these versions of the scopes and the 640s, but it's not, to me, it's not a deal breaker. I'm not going to be like saving up money to make sure I get the 640. This 384s are nice. Anyways, let's get into. I'm going to show a little bit of the pros and cons between these scopes. Like I said, I don't know all the specifications on every single or each one of them. I never really got into all that stuff other than the base magnifications, the processors, and stuff like that. This scope here, I like this scope. This is a scope that's good to get into thermals with. That's what I did with it. I bought 2 of them and ran 2 of them so people could hunt with me. They're good for hog hunting. Pretty much general use of the scope was hog hunting. So it'd be good for people that were varmint hunting, something like backyard or something. You're not going to make any far shots with a scope. I don't think I really pushed over 100 yards with a scope. It wasn't easy to. So anyways, identifying with this scope is pretty hard once you start stretching it out there. I'm not going to say any identification ranges. I'll actually do clips in a minute where you can kind of see the clarity at certain distances. But anyways, the only thing I don't like about these scopes, and this scope was fine, whatever, but I ended up moving up because I wanted to do some coyote hunting as well. But the only thing that I really noticed with these scopes is people that hunt with me that have like a 4.5 power ATN Thor, they really can't see as far as I can see with like the BeringOptics Super Hogster, which has a 2.9 base magnification. It seems like I can see farther and clearer than they can on my base mag. It seems like they kind of throw in extra base magnification on the label of these scopes, and I don't know if it's true or not. But anyway, that's something I've noticed hunting with people that have these scopes. But it seems like Iray and BeringOptics, which use the same technology, I believe. I'm not a tech whiz on these scopes, but it seems like they their base magnifications are pretty true. So this scope here, the only thing that I would say bothered me with this scope, which don't bother me anymore, it's not a big deal. I bought it through Santa Claus Optics, which is a really good person. Travis is a good person to buy them through. Bought it through them. Dustin Williams hooked me up with it, and it come. He sent the Super BeringOptics don't send it out with a battery, external battery, but he sends one with it. Through Santa Claus Optics does. And you can go to their Facebook, and he's always posting scopes used and new. But he'll send one free of charge, a battery extender, because the batteries on the scope suck. They're CR123. They're expensive and they don't last at all. But he'll send a QD mount. They'll mount to your gun with the battery and the cable to go to the scope. So that eliminates that problem. I ended up doing away with it just to get a battery extender. Apex 3D makes this battery extender, this eyepiece, and this piece that will hold your cord if you use an external battery. I really like the battery extender. It eliminates the cables and all that stuff. And it uses, like say, 16 650s or 18 650s. You know, if you were to buy one, you'd have to just kind of look. I bought 2 sets of these batteries, and they stay charged. I usually don't have to switch them out in one night. It all depends on how long I hunt, but they charge really fast as well. Anyways, so moving on. Well, before I move on, this has a 35mm objective lens. The button layout is awesome. You have combo button. You have to hit 2 buttons at once every now and then for certain things you're trying to do. And if you do buy one, I highly recommend looking at your button layout on the owner's manual, and make sure you know the button layout and what to hit to do certain things before you go using it. And if you don't, because you don't have to mess with it to figure it out. If you don't, at least keep your owner's manual with it, because I have messed up and went into this thing turns into a monocular as well, kind of like a scanner, so you can take the crosshairs out of it. I've accidentally went into that mode and couldn't get it out when I was trying to hunt, and it ruined a set with a coyote in front of us. So anyways, for anybody that's had that problem and want to know how to do it, you just hold these, you hold these 2 buttons here, the power and the picture button, and then you tap quick press the menu button 4 times as you're holding them other buttons. Anyways, moving on to that from that scope. I hadn't messed with this scope yet, really, to be honest with you. I've sighted it in and shot 6 hogs that night, and that was just 2 nights ago. So I didn't hunt last night. It's been warm here and kind of humid, rainy. You're going to tell that in the thermal video. Thermals aren't good in humidity, high humidity. So when I do start doing the clips here in a second from all the scopes, you'll be able to tell that it's not going to be the highest quality that these scopes can get. But anyways, you'll have a general idea what you're looking through and what you want to get or see, the different ranges. But anyways, this scope here comes with a little Picatinny rail that you can buy the laser rangefinder that's separate from the scope. It mounts there, and you have a little USB-C port to plug that into, and you have a laser rangefinder. And the button layout on this scope is pretty much identical to the other one, but you have another button thrown in there. And then the battery on this one, it's just a little twist, and you can pull, and it has a charger. You can slap it onto the charger. I'm not gonna highly recommend to get another battery with this scope, because this battery does really well, and I like it. But I also hadn't field tested this one got to field test this one very long. So anyways, this scope is pretty much jam up to me. It's super clear, and you can see very far with it. For a 384 core and that scope as well, they're very clear. And this one just has that touch of base magnification this scope doesn't, and the price range shows it. I mean, this scope isn't a whole lot better than the BeringOptics Super Holster, but that little additional base magnification is nice, and it goes a long way, especially if you're coyote hunting. So anyways, we'll get into the clips of seeing these things, and seeing how far out and the differences between all of them. 100 yards out. I'm using my truck as kind of a decoy to give you a idea. The truck's sitting right at 100. I'm showing the pivot first in these videos, and then I'll pan over to the truck at the distance it's at. Anyways, then I'll move the truck out to 200, and I'll move it out to 300. I know a truck isn't very good to go off of when you want to see a life-size target, or real size target like a coyote or something like that. But this is all I got to work with, and it'll give you an idea at least.